Please welcome Mr. Dave Hill!
I mean, Jesus Christ!
Give yourselves a hand. Thank you. Hi, how are you? I'm incredible. That's great. The 80s. Will we ever really understand them? Probably not. But one thing that I can tell you for sure is that when it comes to decades, the 1980s were so much better than the 2000s that it's not even fucking funny. I can still recall my earliest memory of the 1980s. In fact, it was just past midnight on January 1st, 1980. I was just a kid back then, of course, but had already fallen in with a fast crowd. The very people who would go on to define the decade. It was way past my bedtime, but things at John DeLorean's place were just starting to kick into high gear. Pun intended. High gear. Liza Minnelli had just broken out the Scrabble board. And Carrie Fisher, Buddy Ebsen, Gene Shalit, Dick Van Patten, a young Anthony Michael Hall, and I all wanted in. Big time. We need to split up into teams, Liza said.
But there's only 7 of us. We need 8, so there's 4 of us on those teams. Dave, can you find us an 8th player, please?
Sure, I told her.
Stop making...
Sure, I told her, before spinning around the room in search of a worthy 8th Scrabble player, someone who really had a way with words. That's when I spotted Don Johnson. Still a largely unknown actor at the time, wearing muted colors, and with his coat sleeves rolled all the way down to his wrists and everything. Hey, Don Johnson, I yelled over to him. Do you want to play Scrabble with me, Liza Minnelli, Carrie Fisher, Buddy Ebsen, Gene Shalit, Dick Van Patten, and a young Anthony Michael? Not right now, Dave, he told me. I'm too busy trying to figure out this Rubik's Cube. What's that? I asked him. Oh, you'll find out, Don said, as he struggled with that little hunk of plastic like some drunken chimp trying to unpeel an unripe banana. I got a feeling these things are going to be big. They're not coming out until May of 1980, but I got one early because I played a guy named Doug on an episode of 8 is Enough, the show Dick Van Patten is on 3 years ago, and that sort of shit comes with privileges, thank you very much. I gave Don Johnson the finger after that, and spun back around in the direction of Liza again, which is when I spotted Joe Walsh from the Eagles walk in with what appeared to be a giant bag of cocaine, because it was. Hey Joe, I yelled, is that a giant bag of cocaine? Or are you just glad to see me? Dave Hill, Joe said with a laugh, as I live, breathe, and also do lots and lots of cocaine. How goes it, buddy? I asked him. I mean, besides incredible. Pretty good, Joe answered. The Eagles are about to break up, and I'm ready to cut loose. With that, Joe kicked the Scrabble board off the table and across the room, hitting Don Johnson right in the head, and knocking the Rubik's Cube out of his hand, causing it to then hit soon-to-be Soviet leader Yuri Andropov, who had been invited to the party to give it more of what Liza Minnelli kept calling a wow factor. Watch it, Joe Walsh, Don Johnson screamed. Yeah, watch it, Joe Walsh, soon-to-be Soviet leader Yuri Andropov said. Oh, fuck you both, Gene Shalit screamed back at them. Then Joe Walsh emptied the giant bag of cocaine onto the table I thought we were about to play Scrabble on. And Joe Walsh, Gene Shalit, Dick Van Patten, Buddy Ebsen, several future cast members from the hit TV show Falcon Crest, and I began to have at it. It was the best. I should probably mention at this point that while I have many fond memories of the 1980s, including but not limited to the debut album from Cyndi Lauper, the hit TV series Mr. Belvedere, and the severe global economic recession that affected much of the developed world, but I enjoyed mostly for intellectual reasons. My favorite thing about the 1980s was cocaine. I couldn't get enough of this stuff, and did arguably more of it than any other elementary school student I knew at the time, and also before or since. In fact, it was often said that if you gave me cocaine back in the 80s, a time when, to be clear, I was just a child, I was like a kid in a candy store that just so happened to be filled with cocaine. Lots and lots of cocaine. And for that reason alone, I will always love the 1980s more than any other decade during which I have been on this earth. The 2000s, on the other hand, were a decade so sucky, we never even got around to agreeing what they should be called. It was also a decade that gave us Facebook, skinny jeans, 2 Justin Timberlake solo albums, and the TV show Desperate Housewives, starring Felicity Huffman, whom we should have stopped when we had the chance. Ooh. It was also much harder to get cocaine, especially for a child. Thank you.